So last week I was mainly focusing on building up the top section of the shop for Poppins restaurant from Worcester. However, this week we're going to be moving on to the shop window area. Now, specifically I'm going to be showing how I've created this little door, which is actually the main entrance. But in the meantime, between the last video and this video, I've actually made up the glass for the front of the shop to get us on our way a little bit. This is all stuff that I've kind of shown on my Instagram, but let's take a look at how I make up the door. So I basically do a lot of taking measurements from the designs that I've drawn out, the plans, and I transfer them onto what I'm using is like a clear piece of acrylic that's got very thin, only a couple mil, but I'm transferring the measurements off the plan and I'm putting them actually onto plastic card as well next to it. So I'm transferring them across so that then I build up the exact same size of the door, and that way then I'll be able to cut out those sections and then apply those plastic hard pieces to the acrylic. It's very time consuming, but I love it, and I don't for a minute worry or feel like I've got to rush myself, because I just take my time and draw it all out correctly and appropriately. Here I'm actually going to start cutting out the door piece that I've drawn out. Carefully use my ruler and my Stanley knife. Obviously I'm going very quickly, but reality I'd be going quite slowly with this knife doing my score lines. I'm trying to get it to a point where I've got like a breakage point and I can then snap the plastic card out. So as you can see, I'm like bending it all different directions, and you have to be careful though, because I'm right close to the edge there, and one mistake and I've literally ruined like half an hour's worth of work. So I'm now bending out the frame, and there we go, we have a perfect framing for the door. Now I'm going to apply that on, just test it, and then I'm going to put my plastic weld on and make sure it's going to stick down correctly and fit lovely. And I've got some plastic card down again. It means like now I've got to do that top section to make sure that's the same, but obviously because it's small I've got to be really delicate with how I cut this out. But again, just transferring the measurements across to make up the correct door piece. Obviously this door is a complete glass door in reality, or it was, so it means that there's not really much sort of metal work to framing to actually put onto the door. I mean, I could have done it in sort of 4 pieces for each of those frames, but I'd rather do it with like sort of seamlessly, as I like to say. So again, taking my time, although this is on a time lapse, but taking my time and then cutting carefully out that middle section. Now this is going to be hard as well, because it's only a small piece, so I've got to break out that piece of plastic without snapping the surround, which if you're doing this for the first time, then be careful. But what I like to do is to actually score a line sometimes down sort of diagonally across the piece in order to break it out. I'm going to offer it up and see if it fits, and then put my plastic weld, which I dispense out of a syringe, which comes with the the type that I use. And there we go, there we have the framing for the door. So there's like a band that kind of, as you can see on the drawings there, it kind of follows along the front window and across the door. So I was going to measure that up just with a scrap piece of plastic card. All my plastic card is recycled plastic. It's offcuts that I get. I buy them, you know, for a good price, and then it all goes into my work. So it's all recycled stuff. I don't, you know, I try not to buy anything at all if I can help it, but if it's going to recycle it, then great. So, but that's a piece gone in, band in, and obviously there's going to be a couple of details on there. One is a letterbox, so this is even fiddlier, if you can believe it. I've gone for a thinner piece of plastic card, but I'm going to have to obviously create like a proper box section and then cut it out. So my tactic for this is to actually, as you can see here, rather than try and sort of delicately cut out the whole box in one go, I cut out the middle section, leaving kind of a lot of plastic around it, and then once that's out, I then go around it as close as I can or need to make sure that I've cut it neatly around the box effectively, and you'll see that I get like a very close cut. It's something that it took me a while to realise that actually I could do it that way, but over time and experience you sort of learn these things. So there you can see I've got a really close cut, and it's, you know, it's seamless as well, which is pleasing. So that's going to just sit on a little piece of plastic card, use my roller to support it, and then it goes in place, and there we go, there we have it. It's looking quite nice, I think. It's like the references, I mean that's the main thing there, that's what I'm going for. Obviously we've got to take the film off the back of that plastic card. Always remember to take the film off the piece you're working on as well, because I've done that, I've tried to stick plastic to the film, and that's not good. But yeah, I'm going to add in like just some final details of like some like sort of delicate sort of rodding that's what I'm using, but it's kind of like metal work that just sits across the top and bottom of that sort of band there. It just kind of finishes off that little bit, you know. But overall, like, I'm really looking forward to putting it all together. I'm trying to do this all in pieces so that I can paint them separately, and you know, it can be really neat. So yeah, looking at the kind of it in place, you know, how it will look, I've just masked it in. Yeah, there's a comparison with kind of where I'm at and how it might look eventually. And yeah, overall, really pleased how it's coming together. You can see it 1/24 scale as well. It's quite nice actually to work with. I've got that kind of checkered sort of tiled effect in there, which is going to be really nice to whether it all comes apart. So, you know, I'm not going to have to worry about trying to airbrush in weird places or anything. But I'm really looking forward to painting this up and getting a black wash in between all those lines, and note my strawberry jam as well. That's my that is actually my water pot, but yeah, there's the letterbox, there it is. And I did add a door handle in as well, just to kind of set it apart and put the details in. So yeah, there we have it. That's me for this week, and I hope you enjoyed kind of following along that bit of the process, and hopefully I can bring a bit more to you. So I'll see you soon. Goodbye.